Hey, how you guys doing? Have you guys figure out the move sequence? I'll be right back. We're working on just clearance sacrifices right now. in our unrated thing, because we're just learning how to clear things and then work it from there. These are all clearance sacrifices. So just giving you a heads up on what we're working on. So I'm just doing this one again, just so that we can get it down. So the reason you're probably saying, why are they 1,000 or 1,200 or 17 or 15? These are just clearance sacrifice puzzles. We're just working on getting clearance sacrifice down. We'll do a couple more of these, and then what I'll do is I'll go back to the unrated, and then I'll ask you, my chess friends, what would you like to do on this? So we'll do one more of these, and then we'll go back. They have a whole list of certain things. There's like the queen and bishop on that attack f7, the f7, the queen and bishop attacking f7, the queen and bishop attacking f2, mates, all those different types of setups. Let's see here. Yeah, everything has to be forcing. So check, there, check, taste the rook, check. Everything has to be forcing. So there is no, because he's threatening mate in 1. So let's go back. Okay, since this is unrated, what is your guys's? Do you guys want to do king castle? Sorry, attacking the castle king, attacking F7, F2s, back rank, basic checkmates, clearance sacrifices, decoys, and deflection, defense, desperado, discovery, discovered attacks, double checks, in passing, endgame tactics, exchange sacrifices, forks, double attacks, hanging pieces, interference, mates and ones, mates and twos, mates and threes, mating nets, opponents, opposition, overloading, the overloading piece, pawn promotions, perpetual check, pins, queen sacrifice, remove the defender, sacrifice, simplification, skewers, smother mates, and stalemates, trapped pieces, under promotion, valuable, vulnerable, king, windmill, x-ray, zook swamp, I don't know how to do that one. It's like zook swamp, and then I don't know this one. I don't know how to pronounce that word. But which one of these do you guys want to do? Which one are you guys thinking of doing? Which one are you thinking of doing out of all these? Are you what do you want to study? Which ones do you want to study? We'll do, while you guys are deciding, we're gonna do endgame tactics then. Okay, we'll do endgame tactics. Type in what you want to do for patterns, and we'll do it. Okay. So don't be shy. I'm willing to do it. Okay. Put in if you want to do certain types of sacrifices, pins, all those different things. Just put it in. You have to. We gotta be. We have to get better, and the only way to get better is to do it. So don't be afraid. Okay, Doki. Okay, so if we push this pawn here, he'll take, and then we push on through. Let's see here. Because after I add that to mate. Nice. go. Let's see here. Interesting. Let's do a breakthrough. Let's see here. There we go. This is, sorry about not talking, guys. This right here is these are end games, and so what we're doing is we're learning end game patterns. Let's see if we go pawn f2, king f1, and then we go king d3. Yeah, let's do that. We could do. Oh, I forgot, because he can actually have these two squares taken away in that. So by us doing this, and let's say it comes to f2, right? We can actually come to c3. After he takes, we take and we escort this pawn down the board. I have to keep that in mind. I'm going to attack the rook, and then when the rook moves, I'm going to take here and push up the board. And then I'm going to go straight up the board. Let's see if we play knight g3. If pawn takes g3, takes, king comes up, queen f1, king up, and then we come over and it's mate. We're working on endgame puzzles. I see why now too. Because if we turn into a queen, it would take away his flight square here. So we need him to be able to move. So one takes there. Sorry, okay. Here. Or if we go here. I'm trying to remember, because this was actually a Rubinstein, Reinfeld pawn draw. It's a draw. I'm trying to remember how it goes, because there's a combination that you have to do. You have to stop here, so you have to draw. How many squares does it take? So 4 basically. So So you have to come here, come here. Then what you do is you have to enter in, but you're threatening this move here. I'll show you what he was talking about. Sorry. There's this setup here. Sorry, you have to push here first, and then when he does that, you go queen. That's an idea. Or if this is played, here you come up here. When he queens, you queen. That's a move. And then what also could happen is just plain old takes, and you go to e4. Now you've entered into the box, so there's no way to stop the pawn can't queen. So that's why even if he plays there, you have this f5, a3, e6, d. Sorry, c4. Got to remember, you got to get your pawn rolling. You have to queen right alongside with your opponent, and it's a draw. There's like 4 different ways to draw. It was a endgame puzzle. I remembered it. I didn't know which one they wanted because it was like there's like 4 different ones, but you should know each line. And the cool thing about doing the unrated ones, you can put, like, if you wanted to do endgame patterns or puzzles, you could do endgame. You could do mate in 1s, mate in 2s, mate in 3s, discoveries, double checks, clearance sacrifices, decoys. There's a whole bunch. And by the way, we should do that now that you guys are on. I wanted to ask, what would you guys like to go over? There's attacking the king. There's attacking the king. There's attacking f2, f7, f2. There's There's back rank. There's basic checkmates. There's clearance sacrifices. There's decoys and deflection. There's defense. There's desperado, discover attack. Oh, you want to do a waiting move? Let's see if they have that. I'm trying. They don't have any waiting moves. They have. Let me see here. Yeah, it's possible. A waiting move is possible, but it's not on the chart here, so we have to do what's here. There's defense. Are you guys thinking? Were you thinking about defense? Because that would be basically considered a waiting move. Then there's desperado. Discovered attack. These are positions like puzzles that they'll set up for us, and it'll only be based on those things. And then there's discovered attack, double checks, impasse, endgame tactics. That's what we were working on. Exchange sacrifices, or exchange sacrifice, forks and double attacks. What's a desperado? Oh, a desperado is it's like a we'll do that because that's actually good. A desperado is a piece that goes on basically on a soul mission, and it starts taking things until it can't until it basically gets taken, and it's gonna be lost anyways. A desperado is a piece that's gonna be lost, but it tries to gobble as much material without before it basically I'd say it dies on the board or gets captured. So, like this queen's a desperado at this moment. Actually, it's either this knight. You have to look for the pieces that can't really get out, and we have to look at what would be what's a good desperado. Usually, the most well-known desperado is either the queen, the knight, or the rook. Those are your desperados. Other pieces can, but those are the main desperado pieces. So let's see, how could we desperado which piece is our desperado? We have two to choose from, a knight and a queen. Okay, let's see if we play. Let's check our knights out. Our knight out first, because what you're wanting to do is sacrifice it for a positional gain as well. Desperados are really cool. Yeah, the knight is. So we have to figure out. Sometimes it goes on a lone mission, and that's the desperado. And there was even a song on that desperado. Let me see here. So if it's the knight, let's see, because the knight basically is it's going to be trapped. It's going to be a trap piece. We're going to let's see if we can't gobble enough material to merit it be basically sacrificing itself. It's a piece that goes on a. I always think of it as a kamikaze mission. That its whole purpose is to gobble as much material before it gets captured or bites the dust. There we go. Let me see here. So the knight. Do you have a line that you're looking at? I'm glad we're working on the desperados because I'm okay in a desperado kind of situation, but you have to. That's what Nakamura kind of is good at as well. He knows how to take a piece and go desperado with it, go around gobbling up things, and we have to be comfortable doing that. So. So 95. So knight takes e3. A takes b. Knight takes d1. What do we? And you have to also think. What do you gain from? You have to gain something from the desperado too. Excuse me. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, yeah. You have to basically gain something like positional advantage. Um, Desperados have a lot of different names. It could be considered like a peace sack. It's just a piece that goes on a lone mission, and it tries to gobble as much material. A queen can do that, like in the Poison Pawn variation. In the French, the queen goes on a desperado, but it ends up costing uh, white the game if you do that. If you know how to handle um, the Poison Pawn variation. There we go. Good find there. That's the desperado right here. Nice job. And the whole desperado idea based on this was to get a knight more centralized. And the knight got more centralized via sacrificing the queen. So now it's excuse me, got a fraud there. It's really a strong piece at this point. It teaches that these puzzles are teaching us that it's okay to, with proper understanding, go desperado, which means go to a. Sometimes you have to give up something to get positional advantage, and that's a desperado. Okay, let's see here. Bishop takes f3. Bishop takes d1 or d8. Bishop takes d1. Bishop takes c7. That bishop. Oh, so that's the desperado. I don't think that's the desperado. No, yeah, this is actually the desperado here. Then you take, yeah, this is the desperado. And what I'll show you the whole line sequence. I've seen these desperados. You go here, he goes here, you take here, he takes there, you take there, he gets out, and basically you can either take the knight or just grab another pawn, and this is the desperado kind of setup here. And then if he comes over and attacks your bishop, you just grab another pawn, and you were able to get your piece back with material. This is a classic desperado bishop. Sorry, I should say that the majority of pieces have a desperado thing to them. I haven't really seen a desperado king before, but there probably is a puzzle that has that. Hold on, I'll let you guys take a look at this desperado position. let's see here. Okay. So you guys are thinking knight takes d5, bishop takes d6, and then oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. So okay, so we've seen. So you like, okay, knight takes b4. I mean, yeah, knight takes b4, bishop takes b7, and then knight check. Huh, interesting. That's also a good desperado move as well. That would pick up a piece. Yeah, that's actually a good find there. See, knight d4 would be a good move. The only problem is we don't have, after knight d4, pawn takes, and we've won a pawn, but we haven't won a piece. And so by taking here, our exchange. Let's see here, knight takes b4. Then we would play bishop takes b7, knight check on c2. King moves over, we take, and then bishop takes rook. Huh. Yeah, I'm kind of liking the offbeats move of knight pawn takes pawn takes e4, because when the queen takes back, then we can actually take the bishop, and after the queen takes b7, then we can actually check. This is an interesting desperado one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you guys on that one. This one's best. Then we now can actually take the bishop here, and we'll look at the analysis on this setup. See, the problem with this is that he can play queen d1, and we the bishop is, the queen's hanging, the knight's being attacked, so we have a double attack sitch. If we play here, the bishop can actually take, then after this, let's say here, we could take, and then the bishop takes, and equal material, but white's much better here because piece development is he has more harmony in his pieces. But actually, I'm sorry, we're slightly better because we have more harmony, because we can get, but he could trap our knight via here, so via here. Well, actually, he can't trap our knight, can he? So I think we'd be okay. We'd be able to get our knight out via this way and back in, but that. So this one here gives white an advantage. I'm sorry. Let's see. Let me see. Is it this one that we were talking about? No. I think it's no. This one. Hold on. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. And then if he plays queen d1, knight check, and queen takes c2, and then bishop takes, and nice desperado move. He's in check, so pawn takes, it takes. This gives us a slight positional advantage. Gives us a positional advantage. So the knight move was not a problem. It actually works too. But this is just the best desperado move here. And we've picked up a whole piece in that line. Or a piece up. So there was like 3 or 4 desperado moves. And you guys found all of them, so that was excellent. Let's see, this is an interesting desperado setup. We can continue to do desperados if you guys want. There's a whole bunch of other ones if you guys want to. I mean, if you would like to do different ones as well, like pins, double attacks, decoys, forks, all those. There's a whole line of puzzles we can set up to go over if you would like. I'm more than happy to do that because we're learning. We need to think about this. We have to learn all the patterns anyways. So why not have them specifically set up for us to learn? Otherwise, if you just do puzzles randomly, you don't know what you're doing. So we know that this is Desperado, and we're recognizing Desperado puzzles or patterns too. Puzzles and patterns. Let's see here. Knight takes f6. Pawn takes, rook takes, the queen on d7, rook takes the queen on c2, and then we can actually pick up a pawn in that line. So we actually start gobbling up the pawns on black. So the line goes knight takes, f6, check. This is the desperado. Yeah, knight takes, g takes f. Oops, I gotta do g takes f6. Rook, yep, rook takes d7. Rook takes c2. And then rook takes b7, and we start gobbling pawns, yeah. Hey Fox, how you doing? Ooh, even better desperado. Nice, great find there, Fox. That was a perfect desperado. Nice, nice, nice. Because then you gotta be careful. This I think only gives us some pawn advantage because you'll take here, and then we could just start gobbling there. But then he has e5 and potential hold. But this beauty move right here, and then takes. We're up a whole piece now. Great job. Yeah, tomorrow starts the final leg of the London Grand Tour, or the Grand Tour of Fabi, Nakamura, Aronian, and MVL. It's the Fantastic Four. let's see here. Yeah, that does work. Nice Desperado. Yeah, we're going over Desperados. We'll do one more, and then I'll ask you guys again. I'll ask you again what would you like to go over, and I'll call them out, and then we can pick another type of pattern to go over as well in our puzzles. Let's see here. Let's see. E takes. Okay. E takes. F3. Bishop takes. E6. E7. Pawn takes. E2. Bishop takes. D2. And pawn takes. Queen. Queen. Rook takes. And king takes. Yeah, sorry. This is a cool line right here. Then we'll go right here. Wham, 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 wham. Queen, queen, and then right there. And then now we can castle. We don't want to take with the king because you'll lose castling rights. Just take with the knight. Okay, we'll go over. Now we'll go over again. We'll choose another puzzle set. Okay. What? Okay, and I'll read them out to you, Fox, so that you, if you'd like, you can choose it as well. We can put together and take and look. Okay, attacking the castle king. These are themes that we can do. Attacking the castle king, attacking f7, f2. Back rank mates, or sorry, no, the back rank, not back rank mate. Basic checkmates, clearance sacrifices, decoys and deflection defenses, desperados, which that's what we were doing, discovered attacks, double checks, en passe, end game tactics, exchange sacrifice, forks. Okay, so we're doing, we have one sacrifice. Do I do sacrifices? Forks, double attacks, hanging pieces. So we have one for sacrifice. So, okay, what we'll do is we'll do 2 puzzles of sacrifice. Okay, I'll write that down so that I have it. So we'll do, yeah. So we'll do sacrifice. Just 1 second. I'll make sure I get that down. Okay, so we got 1 on that. We'll do a couple of those. Then we have defense. Okay. Well, we have 1 on that, and then we want to do Zugslump. Okay. Hold on. Let me get this wrote down for a second, and then we'll start. We'll do a couple puzzles of each. And what are Zugslump? Those are ones where whoever is to move loses. There's also some of them are called in between moves. Then there's ones that whoever moves loses. There's two different variations. But we'll start with sacrifices and then we'll go to defenses. I have it written down, so that we'll do them in order. Let's see. There's clearance sacrifices, and then I think, let me see, is that it? Just clearance sacrifices, or is there any other? Is there anything just sacrifices? Hold on, let me just. Okay, clearance. So clearance sacrifices is the idea. Okay, we'll do 2 puzzles of those, and then we'll do the other ones. Oh, you want to do clearance sacrifice? Oops. Well, the difference between a clearance sacrifice is it's like when, oops, I gotta get my mouse off there. Let's say you have to remove a pawn to make way so that your queen can check. If you, I'll set it up here. I'll show you what a clearance sacrifice is. 1 second. Oops, wrong one. Board editor. There we go. There we go. Because this is a lot easier to set. Actually, I'll set up a clearance sacrifice thing. Let me see here. Actually, I'll get rid of that. I'll put a rook here. Let me see here. I'll put a rook here. I'll put a king here. I'll put a bishop. No, I'll do this. 2 queens, because this is how clearance sacrifices usually do work, and we'll have it be white to play. This is a clearance sacrifice. You would sack the queen, and then what happens is you made way for the. It's like a clearance sacrifice. Also, let me see. What's another one? This is more of a peace sacrifice. I'm trying to think of how to set up a clearance sacrifice. 1 second. Hold on. Hold on. Let me try that again. Hold on. I'm trying to think how do I set up a because I actually had it in a game one time. Let me see if it's not a try to make sure that I'm not doing a decoy. Oh. Yeah, basically that's it. You sack to make a space. That's actually the best example of it. So do you want to do clearance sacrifices or just straight up sacrifices? I'm trying to find out where just straight up sacrifices are. Hold on. Do clearance sacks. I'm trying to see any just sacrifice. Oh, exchange sacks. Do you want to do clearance sacrifices or exchange sacrifices? Because we have sacrifice. We have exchange and clearance. Which one would you like to do? Bull, which one would you like to do? Oh, queen sacks. So you want to do exchange sacrifices? Okay. Is that kind of what you would like to do, or a clearance? Ooh, it's yeah, two. Oh, queen sacks. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, there was a queen sack. So I'll just put Q sack. Ah, there we go. Didn't see that one. Okay, we'll do queen sacks. There we go. 2 of those, and then we'll cycle through all of your guys' choices. 2 of each, and we'll just go down the list. And we'll just keep going down the list. And then we'll go back up to the top and go down. Okay. So we're white, so now we have to do a queen sacrifice. Let's see, how do we do this? Yep, there is, and this is the one. So you were right. There were queens. There's like three different sacrifices: clearance, exchange sacrifices, and queen sacrifices. I didn't. For some reason, I must have blocked out the queen sacrifice. But we got it now, so that's positive. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, this is the smother mate. Oh, there were. uh, I think I was reading them too fast. I was trying to go. There's so many different patterns, but you can figure them out. This is actually a smother mate. The old smother mate. Okay, we'll do one more, and then we'll cycle down to defenses, and then we'll do Zook Swamp, and then we'll do the other two sacrifices too. We'll just go through each one of those. The clearance. Hold on, let me write that down. So clearance sacrifice, just straight up sacrifice. And then I shall do E for exchange. Just 1 second. Exchange, and then just straight up sacrifice. There we go. With a cycle. Okay. Yeah, nice. That's it. There you go. And now we'll, since we've done two of those, we'll go to the defensive ones now. And then we'll cycle down. Oops, there you go. Customize. Let's get us some defense ones. There we go. So now this is going to be based on defense maneuvers. So we have to find the best defense. This isn't like sacrifices, Zoo Swamp, any of those. This is a defense. So we have to find like. So let's see, what would be the best defense here. Knight takes. If you want to think about it, knight takes a4 is an idea, because our queen's being attacked at this moment, and we'd be defending our queen by knight takes a4. What do you guys think? I'm saying knight takes a4. So what do you guys think? Knight takes a4 for the defense, because the knight's attacking our queen on b6. Okay, we'll go with it. So knight, you see how knight takes? He takes here, and then we're able to grab there. So and if there's others that want to do different ones on the puzzles, put in. I'll write down what you guys want to do, because we're gonna learn. We're gonna try to do 2 of each, and just keep cycling so that we get an idea of a pretty good variety. So if there's another viewer that wants to do a different pattern, just put it in and I'll write it down, and we'll put that in the order sequence. So let's see. Oh. What did I... Oh, snap. So we come in with check. Oh, and we grab this. Let's do one more because we didn't get that one right. We'll make sure before we move on to the next one that we get 2 of them right. So we want to make sure that we get in the flow of getting them right. Doesn't matter how many times we do them, as long as we get 2 right, then we'll go to the next rung. Alright, a 5, check. That's a fork. Yep, I like that. The cool thing is whatever knight move he moves, he's gonna lose something. Let's see, which way do we want to go? Boy, this is a tough one. Because if we go E1, he has knight G2. If we go G1, he's got knight E2. Well, let's go G1. So it doesn't like G1. Oh, that makes sense. Let's take a look at why the other line, I think it has something to do with if we come up here, he could actually take, and we don't have any attacking anymore. if we go E, it comes up here. We can do this. Oh, the pin. It's all based on this pin. It's all based on the pin. So that when we take here, he can't do anything but move, and then when he does, we pick up the knight. That's a draw. We'll do one more. And then we'll go into Zugzwangp ones. We'll do 2 of those. Well, the only difference with that bull 210 is we don't have a pin on the other one. The whole idea about E1, King E1, is we can bring our king up, and when the rook takes the queen, we slide our rook over, and we're pinning the knight to the king, and we have a pawn that protects the square. So if the rook was to come over, we just grab it, and it's the way we get our material back. Otherwise, we can't get our material back, and we'd be down a whole knight, which would be losing. Okay, we almost got mate here, so I'm starting to... Boy. I think we have to, yeah, bishop a3 check. If king g7, we can actually go rook e8, I believe, or something like that, rook e8, or we can just double up. We can actually double our rooks up at that point. Excuse me. We can actually, rather than rook e, we can go rook e, e1 to e2 at that point. I still think, though, if we do that, he has an attack with his bishop. So... Ooh, nice. There we go. That attacks this here, which then threatens the queen. Okay, so we've done this, the exchange sack, the queen sack, the defense. After we do Fox's game, we'll do Zugzwangp, and we should, let's see here. We'll do that. We'll do that game, and then Well, actually, I promised you guys we would do the Zook Swamp. We'll do the game after the two of our Zook Swamp problems. I promised that we would do that first, so. So we will get to that, Fox. Don't worry. All right, two of these, and then we'll do that. King C7, and it's winning. But King C7, if we do King C7, he has Rook C6, check, and it's a draw. What's the last? Let's see here. Yeah. $3,100. Wow. This should be a pretty standard G7, King F2, King takes H2, and we win. What do you think, Fox? Not G7. What am I thinking? That is funny. That's funny. Not G7, G2. There we go. There we go. One more, and then we'll do the Alpha Zero game. This is a tickler. Let's see, if bishop takes c3, king e2, bishop d4, and I think we hold the position if I'm not mistaken. What do you think, Fox? What do you think, Bull 210? Well, if we do bishop takes, excuse me, bishop takes c3, b, sorry, b6, then we could actually play bishop d4, and if he plays bishop b7 to push onward, we play bishop takes e5, and we stop his progression. So if we take, he'll push and win. So you have to play there first, and then you take, and that's the Zugzwang. You're pushing. You're making him push. If he plays, we'll go back and we'll look at b takes a. Okay, if here, and you're saying he takes, we take, and now we have a Zugzwang position. This pawn can't move, and the only pieces that can. Oh, I was going to show you. You were saying that that white wasn't going to play b7. If white just took on a6 or a7, the bishop would take on b2, and if the king tried e2, we're guarding this. Yeah. Okay. And this move right here, if you push, you take, and it covers this square here. So we could always just potentially play f4. If he tries there, we go g5. If he takes, we take, and if he plays king here, then what we can do is push. If he pushes, we at this point just go bishop to b8 if we want, and we stop it, and then he has to move. If he takes, he can't take here, so he'll have to stay in front, and then we move our king. He comes here, we move up, he moves our king, we come up, he moves up, and then we just move our king. He comes in. We got to be careful that we don't stalemate, and we don't. He comes there. Checkmate. And now I promised Fox that we would go over the AlphaZero game, and we most definitely will go over the AlphaZero game. Gotta love that. So you were, and congrats on the draw, by the way. Congrats on the draw against a international master. And you know what? We just have to work on our pattern recognition, and that's why we're doing chess.com, and we're going through and doing like queen sacrifices, defense, Zook swamp, and the other ones. Okay, let's see how we're doing at time. Perfect. We can finish up this game here, and then I'll ask if you guys have any questions that I gotta log. We did good. You know what? We learned a lot from our chess puzzles this time. Organization's important. Yeah, they were saying on the main page of chess.com that one of the uh, things that's becoming addictive in puzzles is Puzzle Rush. But the players are playing Puzzle Rush, and it's just like so darn addicting, they says. But it's actually I guess it's like a good addiction because you're learning puzzles. But it does teach you something. You may move too fast though, so you got to be very careful with the amount of time that you spend. Like if you're doing a 90-minute game, make sure you spend time calculating your tactics. Okay. Ooh, this is a. I don't think it's a tar. Oh, it's a classic variation. Um, Usually, this is kind of a. You can go down the linear line. Oops, there we go. And then there's a whole bunch of different moves that you can play at this point. There's this. Yeah, there's this move here. And this is like a line that what's his name? Karyakin played. It's to take advantage of these 2 points in here. Okay. The classic line is a subline of a line. It's a really interesting setup. A lot of players play it. Oh, yep, there's the breaks. The 2 breaks in the French are C5 and F6, but you have to time them properly. B6 is an interesting line. Excuse me, let me drink your guys' ear. Just had to wet my palate there for a second. This is an interesting line that if takes, you can take, and we've accomplished a very important thing in the French. We've demolished a portion of the center, and then with potentially next after we castle, let's just say like bishop here. We'll say that he doesn't play here, but let's just say castles. Let's say castles. Now we could play f6. he would actually push here and win a piece. But I'm just saying, then at this point he could take and take, and we've crushed the center. And now our light square bishop can get involved, which was our bad piece, is no longer bad anymore. Knight a4. Sorry, I thought I had something in my glasses. There's queen checks. C3, protect, and then c4. This shuts down this whole line here. This a back here. There's a line that potentially after all this, the queen come out to a5 and the winier, by the way. So this is kind of setting up for like a winier setup. Very, very closed winier though. We don't want to allow this to happen. Then white's got a really compact pawn chain, and white's better. So the best thing to do is to retreat and keep our pawn chain intact. b5. See, this allows this in here. Then a5. Yep. I guess we have to go hard on that. It could go here, but then what happens is this passed pawn becomes a headache. So we're trying to undermine this pawn right here. And then potentially, if we can take, we may be able to take here, and after pawn takes, play queen a7 and double attack this pawn with a knight and a all the lines, but I'll show you what I'm saying. If this come on, oops, wrong one. Not that. Takes here. We'll say that black gets another turn, okay, but we'll just say pawn up. Then we can play bishop takes, pawn takes, and then now we can bring our queen over here and double attack this pawn. I'm just showing you. Well, that is true. Yeah. The only yeah, I guess it does give white this outpost here. That makes sense, because then you're attacking there and there, and you're forcing the knight to exchange. And man, does he get a really protected pass pawn. So really good play so far. Knight takes. They're trying to clobber right on through. This is funny. They both have their passers, but look at the chain for black though. Bishop e7. Just one sec. Want to make sure. Perfect. We're doing good. Bishop d1. Let me see. Yeah, rook comes back, kind of to guard the queen, and h4. There goes Harry. There goes Harry up the board. We really don't want to castle our king, because we'd be castling into a tremendous attack. But he could actually play a rook move here, and then we could play rook back. So castle. Well, I guess he does have to castle, because if he didn't castle, and let's say he played something like this, this potentially is an idea. And castles, and I don't know if I like that. White has the domination, so that'd be a little not fun. This allows for the rooks to be connected. So h5, h6, f5. Wow, they're just going smash, smash. Nice. Man, man, Alpha Zero is going for full bore attack. And then there we go. It gave up 2 pawns and a bishop for a rook. But this one pain in the neck is going to be a problem right here. This pawn on h6. Now we have a threat of a back rank mate. Well, yeah, once you have control of the center, you can do different setups. Well, you can go wing. If the centers are locked, then the wing attacks happen. They wanted to try to go after. This potentially could be a draw. This pawn is very vital. Wow, now this rook's going to come into play pretty heavily. But if we can get these pawns traded off, we may have an advantage. Or at least keep a hold on the position. Yeah, the game's lost for black now. The game is lost because white's just gonna escort these pawns down the board. Or sorry, up the board, not down. That's funny. Now that pawn Nice. Okay, nice job. So, do you guys have any questions on the stockfish versus, I mean, Alpha Zero versus stockfish? Do you guys have any ideas? We are. Well, from what I've noticed here, let me see, where is that? Excuse me. Where is that move? Once, like what you're saying, Fox, once you get the center locked up, you can start playing on the wings. Yeah. Well, I noticed that you can sacrifice to open up. If you want to think about a clearance, this right here is a perfect clearance sacrifice because they sacked 2 pawns to open up this diagonal for this bishop, and it ended up the extra rook ended up being the one that did alpha did stockfish in. It did a pin all the way back here. That one rook that Alpha Zero got ended up being the basically the last nail in the coffin for stockfish. So I learned that it's okay to sacrifice pawns as long as your positional play is much better in the end, and you can see all the way through and win basically. Okay, if you guys do you have any other questions, or is that all? Is that it? I'll give you guys a second to decide. I mean, to put in a minute or minute. I mean. Right. It's there. It's play. It understands the principles of a bind. It knows how to bind one area to make. Yeah. That is true. You have to know when to switch. You have to be flexible. Is that? Do you have anything else you would like to discuss with about this that you've learned before I log off? Because these are all great um, ideas in the harmony of chess positions. And you guys got any more ideas that you've learned from like a Alpha Zero versus Stockfish? I'll give you guys one more minute. If you haven't, oh, you're gonna have some coffee. That's good, yeah. Okay, well, guys, thank you for logging on. That was fun. We figured out kind of a new thing inside of chess.com about different. Yes, we didn't gain any points, but we did gain knowledge, and we now can do different sacrifices. We could do exchange sacrifices in a whole a whole bunch of different patterns. So feel free when you guys get on to put in if you'd like to do a pattern of like clearance, decoy, forks, skewers, pins, double attacks. Just and we'll try to find it in the list and we'll go over it. Okay? And it's all about learning. Remember, knowing is not enough, we must apply. So we have to apply what we learned, and we know now how to apply our desperados, our queen sacrifices, our defenses, and our Zook Swamp. We also got to see a clearance sacrifice uh, with Stockfish versus, Alpha Zero versus Stockfish. We got to see a clearance sacrifice with that. And we we're willing now to actually sit down and do the work. So that's cool. We're kicking it up a notch. There are no limits. There are plateaus and we must go beyond them. We sometimes the hardest thing to do is to go beyond the plateau that you're at. Sometimes you have to give things up that you want to do, but that's holding you back. And so you have to find out in your life or in your chess play or whatever that's holding you back from that next upgrade from maybe a B player to an A player to an expert to a candidate master to a master. What habit and what thing could be keeping you from acquiring that goal that the Lord, of course, the Lord has for you? Because He's the reason always that we should be doing this stuff. All our skills and talents that He's given us, like the 1, 2, and the 5. We got to put those. We got to put the 2, the 1, 2, and 5 to work to make a 5, to make a 2 more, 2 more. So 5 more out of 5, so that'd be 10. 2 more 2 is 4, and the 1 could have taken his 1 and done 1, but as we know, he didn't, and his 1 was given to the 10 because the 10 could handle that 1. So like the Lord doesn't give us more than we can't handle. So we have to always remember that. And we have to keep pushing forward in our pattern recognition, our openings, and our endgame study. A lot of games, my friends, are won and drawn at the end game play. Whoever has the best end game ends up winning or drawing. If you're down material, you could potentially set up a stalemate, which would save the game in a lost position. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. Never give up. As long as there's hope on the chessboard, keep pushing forward, like in Meet the Robinsons. So remember, and I also, could you guys say a prayer for Paris and now the majority of Europe, that they find stability and that the Lord intervenes and helps. We need a prayer for Europe right now. I appreciate that. Remember when we some days are like you dig into a in the mine, you dig into a wall, a whole bunch of diamonds fall out. Some days you dig into a wall, there's nothing but a wall there and just rock. Some days you get one, some days, like what we said, you don't get any. But it's those who keep digging deeper and deeper into the mind, which would be deeper and deeper into the field of chess. They'll eventually hit that one wall that they break through, and there's the diamonds on the walls. It's like, whoa, we hit the jackpot, and that's when you get that understanding. That light bulb, like in the cartoons, comes on, and it's on there forever. At that point, you, my friends, will know how to then apply all the chess. But until then, we have to keep pushing forward We will get it. So we'll just keep moving forward. And remember, coal under pressure becomes a diamond, which our eyes are diamonds. We need to focus down on the task at hand. And a sword that's sharpened, which is we need to sharpen our mind to be tactical and ready. And like we say always, we hang up our coat, we hang up our hat, we sit down and study when most won't. We do, and that makes all the difference. Okay, as Wesley so says through the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chest Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow, and we'll keep pushing forward, and we'll pick up on our Scotch game. We replaced the Scotch game opening with an Alpha Zero, which I wanted to thank you, Fox, for posting it in the chat for us to go over. Stellar game, excellent. Okay, guys, remember, keep up the fight, keep fighting. Go Team Chest Cruncher, hoorah! We're studying, we're kicking it, yeah. We're going to the next level of our plateau, and we will keep pushing forward. Great job, and I always love this term. I love it when a plan comes together. So great job, guys. Keep those plans coming together. Be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.